problem with many entrepreneurs who have started a business themselves, that
Right.
as an entrepreneur you want every aspect to be perfect. And it's hard for you to trust your work with someone else in the beginning, because you're so used to taking care of everything.
What inspired you to start your business during the pandemic? And we're excited to know more about the evolution of your business ever since.
So, to be very honest, this was not something that was planned. Like, I didn't know that this is what I was going to end up doing. What had happened was, after I completed my architecture, I was working as an architect. I was basically doing a job, and while I was doing that, I constantly felt like this was not my calling. Like, I couldn't see myself do this for the rest of my life. So somewhere I knew that this is not what I'm looking for, and just to explore, I decided to quit my job. I decided to, my plan was at that time that I will maybe take up freelancing architecture projects to support myself, and while doing that, I will have like a side hustle going on until it is a little stable and I can rely on that. So at that point of time, I had very different ideas of what I wanted to do, what I wanted the side hustle to be. But just a month after I had left my job, fortunately or unfortunately, the lockdown happened. And all my plans went completely down the drain. Like, none of my plans were working. Everyone was at home. And so then I had to like think of what will I be doing now, because now I don't have a job. Now my plans are not working. And what am I going to do to support myself? What happened was that art has been like a very important part of my journey right from the beginning. Like, even as a child, art was my go-to thing always. So in the pandemics, but somewhere, when I started doing a job and all, you kind of lose touch. You kind of let go of your passions and hobbies, because you have absolutely no time for that. So that's what happened with me also. But in the pandemic, I kind of reconnected with art. I started painting again. I had made this page on Instagram where I would just post pictures of my paintings, or like old paintings that I had done in like the previous years. And I was not really expecting anything out of it. I was just doing it like a passion of mine. I started slowly seeing a good response on Instagram and Facebook only. Like, there was nothing else, nothing extraordinary that I was doing to promote my art. And I started receiving in the beginning some customized orders for paintings and some customized requests, personalized gifts and stuff like that. And I was more than happy to do them. In fact, I was quite surprised that people were actually like, even if it was not a lot, they were actually ready to pay me for my skills. That really encouraged me. Then it was quite encouraging that people were actually like, people who were strangers were coming to me and asking me to make these customized paintings for them. And then what happened is, then slowly I started realizing that a lot of people were interested in art. But if you want a customized painting, for example, it is going to be expensive, right? Because it is made just for you, it's as per your requirements. So a lot of people didn't have the budget for it, but were really fond of the art and wanted to really own something special. So I started thinking of what can be the things that can I do to solve this gap. That is when it struck me that, because pandemic and like masks was the number one thing which everyone needed, it was like an essential thing. So I thought, maybe if I can come up with some products which are affordable, which are artistic, then this can help me solve the gap that is there.
After the response that you received, how you navigated that pivot, and what were some takeaways? How did you really go about deciding to then expand and test out with different products?
Yeah, so I started with this first product, which was hand painted masks, and it was more or less like a trial for me, because was the first time I was coming out with a product. I was not even spending anything on marketing. I was just posting this on my Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, all these people, which was already my network. And even through that, I did get a very, very good response, which gave me confidence that, okay, people are liking these kind of products. People are interested. So then I thought, but at the time, even budget was an issue for me, right? I didn't have any funding, or I didn't have any financial backup. So for me, it was something like, I need to come up with products which are which are something which people use on a day-to-day basis. Like the audience is big and not too expensive, so that more people can afford them. And at the same time, they're not very heavy on my pocket as well. We were actually, it was like learning on the go, because
Yeah.
everything was quite new for me. This was not a field that I had any experiences before. So that's
Right.
how it went. And then eventually we slowly and steadily built a good catalog. We started adding more products based on what was working and what was not. And then slowly the team grew because the volume was growing. And that's how we started. And like 2.5 years down the line, today we are like I can say that this is like a full-fledged business now. We have our own office today. We have a team of 7 people. And our products are at 15 of crossword bookstores on marketplaces like Nika and Nika Fashion. So that
Right.
has been the journey. Of course, it has taken a lot to reach till here.
So in the initial stages, when you felt that you didn't have that budget to sort of maybe experiment or fuel it into the products that you were about to launch, what were some of the ways that or the effective ways that you used to raise capital for your business, if you did at all, and like what were the initial stages of financing your business? What did that look like?
So there were stages, of course. When I first started, I had just invested the little bit of savings that I had from my previous years of working. And the investment was extremely low in the beginning because I had started really small. I was not spending on marketing at that point. I didn't have like a huge range of inventory or products. So, and I was only concentrated on smaller products, and I kept lesser inventory, because of which I really didn't have to invest a lot of money. And whatever money I was making by selling these products online, I was again using the same money again into my business. That was what I did for the initial amount of time. But what I realized after a point is that at this speed, yes, it is going to be consistent, but if I really want to grow, then there needs to be like a push or a little bit of capital strength that I should have. After a point when the volume started growing, and we felt like this can be the real deal, and we really need to work on it. That is the time when we actually actively started looking for funding. So that was the time when we started researching of all the options that were available in the market today. Like we learned a lot about all these government schemes that are for women, which are available there. Then we also got to know there were a lot of private companies who are also offering financial services for small businesses, women entrepreneurs, especially like Mahila Money is also one of them. We literally approached all of these, and we told them about our business. We told them about our numbers, and like obviously it took a very long time. It was not like we approached them and next day we got funding.
Right.
uh, we had to approach a lot of people. There were rejections. There were times when like there were people who were interested, but then we couldn't meet some eligibility criteria, for example. So it was a long process, but eventually we were able to raise some revenue based funding from a company which works with D2C brands. So that is how we have been raising money, and like even now we are actively looking for equity funding, and we are in touch with the venture capitalists and
Right.
companies.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Namrata. I want to again, do a follow up on. So you mentioned how you didn't invest much money into your marketing. You sort of just started with Facebook, Instagram, posting more about your business there. So has there been a shift at all in your marketing strategy or in just your business strategies or day to day?
No, no, of course, there has been a huge shift. Like I said, when we started, I was not really spending anything on marketing. Everything was organic. But like when we decided that we have to grow and like grow at a faster pace than what we are growing till date, and we were able to raise some funds. Then we made like a proper marketing plan. Uh, we had a proper budget. We had a plan for like say 3 years, and we had like a budget for everything. Like marketing, will for first month we'll be spending this much, second month we will be spending this much, and what are the expected revenues that we could generate out of those. So we had all these plans in place. And like because we are an e-commerce brand, like digital ads make 90% of our advertisements. And we also had grown our product portfolios, and we knew our target audiences as well, that this is the target audience and this is their behavioral pattern. So having all that information and having all that data really helped us understand our marketing as well. So when we started marketing, we realized that because we do not have a niche, we do not have one category. It's getting really hard to market, because for any brand, like any brand, you call out a brand. If you say, for example, Zara, you will think of clothes, right? Even though they sell
Right.
footwear, but you will think of clothes. But we were not able to build that recall for us because everything was too random. So that is also when we realized that we have to streamline this. We have to
Right.
have specific category, or maybe maximum two categories, so that we can not just market it effectively, but we are creating a niche for for ourselves in the market.
Do you have any pointers or tips as to how you went about that planning process? Any tools that you use, any specific strategies that you use to do that, or just any advice, for someone in that stage?
Yes, I think that financial planning is very, very, very important. Like, you cannot go about running your business without having a financial plan in place. And by financial plan, like, it sounds like really something really complicated, and it's not that. It's actually just having clarity of what is going on in your business and what you want to achieve, and how you're going to achieve that. So luckily for me, my father is a businessman, and he has been a businessman for the last 30 years. So he is the one who has, like, really been a mentor for me, and like make help me, with how to make financial plans, how to read finances, how to understand your finances. So that has been a great help for me. But just like, if I have to, if there's an advice that I have to give you, then it is very important. First of all, the data that you already have, like, for example, if you're already running a business, you will have the data, that what are your revenues, what are your spends, where are you spending the most, where are you losing the most money, what sales channels you are earning the most money, where you're making profit, where you're not. So it's very important that you analyze that data. If you're just running your business without analyzing, at least every month you should have an analysis of what's going on in your business, and then you can improvise and see where you need to work. And then the next month, that's what we do. So every month we make like a very detailed report of our expenses, our incomes, where we are spending, where we need to control, and then we work on those areas in the next month. So I want to say I have 1000 customers today, and in the next 1 year I want to be at 10,000. So how much will I need to spend on marketing? What all products which will I have to add? What all things that I'll have to do? Maybe I'll have to add sales channels. What? So all this needs to be calculated, and then you'll get a fair idea if it's even feasible or not. And if it's feasible, then great. If it's not, then you have to again rework and readjust. And then see, even if you make a financial plan, it's not going to happen that every month is going to go exactly how you plan.
How
There
you
are
plan
going to
it? Yeah.
be 10 different problems that are going to happen, which will deviate you from your path, and then you have to improvise. But that's part of that's part of the plan.
So along the lines of things not always going to plan and things not always working out, I want to ask Namrata, were there any challenges you faced when you were scaling from and pivoting your business from that sort of home run where you were focusing on your hand painted masks, and then you decided to expand your product catalog? So were there any challenges that came along the way? I know you mentioned one about finding a niche,
Yes.
and not going sort of cross categories. But if you can speak a little more to specifically during the stages of scaling, what were the challenges? How did you overcome them? Just want to hear more on that.
Yes, definitely. There were a lot of challenges as we were growing our portfolio, product portfolio. We were adding more products. We realized that we were stocking too much inventory, because now we have like initially we had 10 products. Now we have, say, 200 products. So now stocking inventory for 200 products, and you obviously have to invest, right, in the inventory.
Right.
So the investments were going too high. Stocking them was becoming a problem physically, because like, I am in Mumbai. My office is in Mumbai, and as everyone in the world knows that Mumbai, real like space in Mumbai is really, really limited, and working with limited space and so much inventory and with limited capital, that started becoming again a bit of a problem for us. So then we started figuring out how we can minimize that. We started working with our vendors. There were some products which we started doing in house, so that we don't have to keep inventory of all the designs, for example. So we can just make them as the orders come in. So all these things we had to do. Another one more thing is that as you grow, you really need to have your processes and systems in place.
Right.
Because yeah, it's like, yeah, you are in the very beginning stage, most entrepreneurs are working just by themselves. They are the ones who are doing everything, right from product development, research, marketing, social media, to even if you are in a product based business, then packing orders also is done by that one single entrepreneur. But as you grow and you have a team, then it's very important that there is a proper system that is in place which is followed for all operations.
Right.
Because otherwise things will just start going haywire, and there'll be so much confusion, and that will in turn affect your service which you're providing to your customer. And I think this is very specific to your business, what business you're in, what are the products, what's the process, and what is the system that you need. So that's something you will have to develop.
But just specifically when it comes to scaling, what were the things that you tracked? I think what you mentioned about inventory and stock is one of them. But now looking back, and also, when it comes to advising an entrepreneur who's in a similar stage of growing her business, how would you measure success when it comes to growth strategies, specifically scaling a D2C business? And I think you touched upon some of the points here, but if you just had to say boil it down to two or three, what would those be?
So there are a few points. One is obviously like your product or service, whatever you're offering, is the core. So you will have to always, like even today, we are always trying to better our product based on what feedback we get from our customers or what we are experiencing. So every day we are trying to give better price points, to improve our service or quality, and even the products that we come up with are the new products that we come up with are based on what feedback we get from our customers. Because a lot of, so it's very important to first listen to your customers, because most of the time all your answers are going to be there. Instead of sitting and guessing that maybe I should do this or that, the demand is already there, they're already telling you, but sometimes we don't end up listening to what the customer has to say. One thing is that. Another is customer retention is something that we which is very important to us, and we work really hard to. And this is something that we have realized later, uh,
Hmm.
in the later stage of the business, that we've been working so hard to build the customer base, but then after that, maintaining a good relationship with the customer, like communicating with them regularly, letting them know that these are the new things that we are coming up with, these are some benefits that we are giving you, giving them some feel, making them feel like they're part of the family, and they're like, or maybe their loyalty is important to us. That is something that is very important. We have worked on that immensely, and like around 25 to 30% of our uh, orders every month come from our repeat customers. So that is one really important point that I would want to share. Another is customer acquisition, where is a new customer. So and that will come from building brand credibility. I mean, of course, you'll have to market and you'll have to spend money in marketing, but building brand credibility will really help you with getting newer customers on board, like getting good reviews on your products, or like even if you're collaborating with such people with whom you can, or their audience can trust you because of them, then such things can really help you. And last but not the least is, I think, efficiency in your operations, in your teams, how well your team is performing, how you can get their productivity to the max, like that will only come with systems and processes, like I mentioned earlier. So these are a few things that we really take care of. Every month we study them, and we do our best to work on those.
I want to ask a little bit about what you think. What is your approach to hiring and building a team, especially as your business was scaling and growing? And what were the qualities that you looked for in your team? And how has that shifted the dynamics as you scaled your business?
So I'm very glad you've asked this question, because I think this is a problem with many entrepreneurs who have started a business themselves. That
Right.
as an entrepreneur, you want every aspect to be perfect. And it's hard for you to trust your work with someone else in the beginning, because you're so used to taking care of everything. And it's very for a lot of entrepreneurs, it's difficult to delegate work. But this is something that is really important to do, is that you need to delegate your work. What happened was that initially, like I said, I was handling everything by myself. But when the volumes grew, I realized that I'm spending most of my time, 90% of my time, doing things like packing orders or say replying to DMs or things like that. And I literally was left with no time to work on my core business, which is designing and like creating. Okay. So
Right.
and even if I ever found time, I used to be so tired and burnt out that I didn't have any energy to work on that. And then I realized that if this continues and as the volumes grow, this is not going to be sustainable, and my business will eventually suffer because the core business is not being taken care of. Like the big picture is not being taken care of. So then I thought that, okay, what is that one thing which I can easily, which takes up most of my time, but I can easily delegate it to someone else. Like I can train someone and that person can take care of that. And that was at that time, packing the orders was the biggest thing which was taking up all of my time. So I decided to have at least one person to help me with that, and it made a huge difference. After a point, you're not going to be able to run a business all by yourself, and hiring one person is really, after a certain time, hiring one person is really not that hard. Even financially, you will be able to do it, and that one person will add so much value to your business that maybe all the time that you're using in creating and adding business will be actually more profitable for you than you wasting your time in doing all of these things. So
Right.
that is how it started. And then as the volumes grew, of course, one by one, we had, as per the requirements, we kept adding people. And for me, about a team, it's not like just another 9 to 5 job. When I'm hiring someone, I really feel like they are going to be a part of the Strokes family or a community. And like, even I want that for them, it is not just another 9 to 5 job. I want someone, I usually look for someone who is going to work, uh, is going to have that ownership,
Right.
that we are working towards a common goal, a common dream. Like even today, like my team, a lot of them, like if something good happens or like if we have a new launch and the response is great, they are happier than I am.
Fantastic, Namrata. I am really excited to ask you a little bit more about, where you see your journey going from here now.
I think there's like a really long way to go from here. It's just been 2.5 years, and there's so much more to do. What we have on our agenda for the next coming like a few years is that we really want to reach as many people as possible. Like today, also we are reaching a limited number of people, and so that's why we are building our sales channels. Like we are actively listing our products on as many marketplaces as possible, tying up with offline stores as well, so that our products at least reach as many people as possible. Another thing which
Right.
we have on mind is international shipping. Like once, because we do get a lot of requests asking us if we will ship our products to a certain country, and right now we do not have that, but that is also something that we have on our agenda. Even today we are working on so many new samples, so many products. We have a plan in place of what all products we want to add, what all categories we want to get into. So all of these things are being worked upon right now.
What at this stage of your business as a founder, would be something that would really help accelerate that and bring you to, or achieve the goals that you want to?
So of course there is an organic way of going about it, that all the platforms that are all available to us right now, for example, say all these online marketplaces, obviously
Right.
we are already working on that, things which do not really require an external push or an external factor. So all
Right.
those things we are definitely covering because they are already in our reach. But when it comes to, like, for example, if tomorrow we want to collaborate with another brand, which has like say 20 offline stores, and we need to supply to them, then obviously there will be some need of capital, where because initially we will have to be investing in the inventory till we start getting the results.
What tips or last advice do you have that would be useful to entrepreneurs in this stage, especially when it comes to cracking that D2C, space?
So I think one good thing is that in D2C today, you can start really small. You don't have to wait around till someone say gives you, you don't have to wait for someone to give you a huge amount of sum so that you can start a business. Today we are living in a world where everything is digital. You like through social media platforms you can reach n number of people if you're doing it correctly. So that is a very big advantage, and I think anyone who is willing to get into this space should really make advantage of this. And it will be good because you will be able to test out your product, you'll be able to test out your market, what the market wants, whether the needs and demands are matching or not. So
Right.
definitely don't be scared to start small. And at the same time, like, if we have already covered all the technical points I feel about the business, so there's one thing which is very important which I want to say is that you really need to have faith and really need to have patience if you are a
Faith and faith.
budding entrepreneur and getting into a new business, because it won't be like you'll start today and 3 days later you are going to see like an some miracle happen and suddenly your product is viral. That is it might be like a one in a million case, but that is not going to be the case. You will have to really be consistent and be patient till you can see the result.
Namrata, we do have a couple of questions I see in the chat. So the first one is from Prachi. She says, super inspiring journey. And she wants to understand what your best selling product is currently and how has that changed your marketing strategy, if any?
Yes, we do have a best-selling products. Our best-selling products is our coffee mugs. Right from the beginning till date, it has been our number one product, and we do like most of our marketing around coffee mugs, because we have realized that not just because it's a best-selling product, it's also a product that is which has a huge trial rate, because it's not a very expensive product. It's a product which almost everyone uses. It's also a very popular choice for gifting. So
Yeah.
we've seen that for new customers, trial rates are very high with this product. So uh, we are using this product to attract as many new customers as possible. So like we plan our marketing accordingly as well.
Anuradha has a question here in the chat as well. How does one go about choosing the products that you feature when you're listing on a D2C platform? Or a marketplace, online marketplace where you're listing. How do you choose which product to feature?
I think choosing up, you can basically sell any product, but it will really help if you are passionate about the product that you are choosing as because that product is basically your business. So if you are
Right.
passionate about it or you have knowledge about that product, that will be much better rather than indulging in some random product which you have no idea about, like any idea about how it is made or what is the audience for it. So like I said, like art has always been my hobby, and the art is what we are promoting with the help of these products. So that's
Right.
why, because this is something you're going to do long term. If you're going to just start with a random product, it might happen that few months down the line you will lose interest in your own business. So it's best to go with what you know, what you're really interested in. Apart from that, in D2C, you can really promote any product that you want. It's just that understanding the your audience is important. Like, if for example, if you're selling yoga mats, then
Yeah.
your audience is people who practice yoga daily, people who are into fitness, people who and there must be a certain age group, say this age group, like people practice more yoga. So that understanding that is important, and that is how you will be able to promote your product.
Namrata, again, want to take this moment to just thank you for coming out here, sharing about your entire journey, telling us about the different strategies and sort of best practices you've used to scale your business. Want to congratulate you on the amazing success with Strokes, and sort of wishing you good luck on all the rest that's more to come there.
Thank you so much, Indira, for having me. It was a great session. It was really a pleasure. Thank you so much, and everyone else who have been there. Thank you so much for listening to us.